I'm Brian.
I'm Lee.
I'm Erica.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Jack, and today we're going to talk to you about the debate between security and privacy. The NSA, otherwise known as the National Security Agency, produces and manages signal intelligence by essentially gathering information by intercepting signals. However, part of their goal is to keep their operations confidential. A recent topic in which most of you probably have heard about is the controversy surrounding Edward Snowden's actions. Edward Snowden was an intelligence analyst for the NSA and revealed the PRISM operation, and he is currently convicted with theft, unauthorized communication of national defense information, and willful communication of classified communications intelligence information to an unauthorized person. He's now currently working in Russia after fleeing his NSA job based in Hawaii. This leaked information has started to have people wondering what is truly going on with the NSA, and the debate between security and privacy begins.
PRISM is a program which the NSA has developed, which allows them to collect metadata from many online communication sources such as Yahoo and Google. They do so for national security, and up until recently it was hidden from public view. For the most part, they collect metadata, which is essentially data descriptions of the receivers and senders and when and how the data was collected. However, in certain circumstances, it can extend to the actual content of things such as cell phone calls and emails. Something that allows them to do this is FISA, which is the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. This means that if the NSA has probable cause that a foreigner may be a threat to U.S. national security, they may be allowed to obtain private communications of Americans if it is somehow related. An interesting fact to note is that earlier this year, over the span of a month, the agency collected 181,280,466 new records, which includes metadata and actual content. FISA essentially allows the NSA to go around our Fourth Amendment rights, which give us protection against unreasonable searches and seizure. It allows the NSA to gain intelligence ranging from specific people to more broad communications such as searches for keywords. Because it is foreign intelligence, Congress and the Supreme Court can have little oversight for this, and thus the NSA has been able to spy on citizens constitutionally. This is, however, very controversial to many people.
As you can see in this PRISM presentation slide, there are two main ways in which the NSA collects information. The first is upstream, and the second is PRISM. This slide makes it seem that the NSA is directly working with the big companies such as Facebook and Google, which creates a slippery slope in this situation, as all the companies are denying this fact, and this makes the situation even more unclear to the public.
Nowadays, technology is used everywhere. Everyone is using technology for everything, especially in our generations. Although that we use it a lot, but none of them is 100% secure. Dystopian elements, a controlling government that take over every aspect of people's life. And are we heading in that directions? The power of NSA is so powerful that even the Congress is uninformed of their actions. After Snowden's appearance, Senator Wayne announced a new proposal to overhaul the nation's surveillance law by ending collection of Americans' communication records, limit the legal authorizations of PRISM's program, reform the Secret Surveillance Code, increase transparency, and what else are they doing, and are they planning to do for the government is unknown. And the current law system may explore it like constitutional.
In regards to security versus privacy, we decided to make a blog to gather various opinions about the issue. We created a blog on WordPress and we asked the following question. Do you agree with the implications for internet surveillance for the sake of national security, even if it can affect your personal privacy? What do you think should be done instead, if anything? All of us asked our friends and relatives to comment on our blog, and what we found was that there were two predominant views. One of these views is that the internet surveillance should be unconstitutional. Many people commented that the NSA is invading our personal privacy and they should not be allowed to spy on us. The other main opinion is that they are indifferent about the NSA's choices and actions as long as they don't go too far. Several people wrote that there should be a limit as to how much surveillance the government is allowed. Based on this feedback, we proposed a solution.
Okay, so this slide shows us a few pictures of our website. We thought this would be easier rather than showing like separate screenshots of like different parts of it. So we got 19 comments in total, and I'm just going to give you two quotes, one that shows the general gist of like being against PRISM and one that's saying that they're fine with it as long as it doesn't go too far. So for the against, someone wrote, as domestic terrorism becomes more of a problem in our country due to the greater availability of dangerous weapons, I understand why our government feels it is necessary to play the role of the ever-watchful Big Brother today. But I also believe that our Constitution gives each and every one of us a right to privacy, and our government is not honoring that by spying on its people. And for the other quote, I do not have any issue with the government monitoring internet activity of suspected terrorists or potential terrorists for national security, even if that means giving up some privacy for the general public. However, there should be some oversight to make sure that this monitoring is not abused. So for our solution, we looked at the feedback we received on our blog, and we analyzed the contributing factors for why PRISM was constitutional in the first place. We believe that the NSA is very important and it is clearly needed to protect our national security, but it should not be allowed to go too far. To prevent this, we believe our country's law system needs improvements. The pace at which technology advances is much faster than the pace of laws, so laws quickly become obsolete. This is why PRISM is constitutional right now. Laws need to be able to keep up with technology. Unfortunately, the government is conservative and knows little about technology, so they slowly make decisions. Also, they tend to back each other up. An example of this would be the CART case, Supreme Court versus the Electronic Privacy Information Center, or abbreviated EPIC. The Supreme Court upheld PRISM and allowed the NSA to keep tapping phone calls this November. In addition, even Obama supports PRISM. To better voice the opinions of those concerned with their privacy, we should have a referendum where the population gives their opinions about PRISM and future NSA plans. This would speed up change because the government would know what people think of these programs. Also, the NSA's plans should be less confidential. We should have at least a general sense of our privacy limits.